we do here is go back.
Hopefully that is working. You never know. Looks like it might be. Good evening everyone, Mike here, Mugs Unboxing Reviews and How To. It is Saturday the something of something, 28th of May 2022. How you all doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully the sound is coming through okay and hopefully the audio is reasonably respectable. Even though you do have to listen to my dulcet Bristolian tones, so it is going to be what it is. Let's have a look in the chat, see if everyone is hearing properly and seeing. Hopefully I might even be in focus, you never know. Kieran Atkinson says the temperature is dropping faster than my serotonin levels. There's a good positive start to the show. Ordinary Dude says looks good here. Everyone's saying morning, all good, says Nicholas Barlow. This screen's a bit far away actually, I can hardly bloody see it. Is that visible in the shot? Oh, what the hell. It's not like I'm a professional or anything, I don't do this for a living. Oh, hang on, wait, no I do. So, tonight's stream, actually something a little bit different. We are diagnosing a PC. Now, someone who's bought a PC off us previously, their brother's daughter, I think that's right, has started building a PC. Really nice spec PC. Some of you have probably seen it already from the thumbnail from the video. So it's basically a Corsair build. There's basically everything that Corsair make in this case. It's a very nice looking case actually. I've got it down here on the side. I've deliberately not had it in front of me purely for the reason that I want to diagnose it and go through it kind of in the same steps as I would normally, but with you lot going along for the ride as well. So yeah, no pressure there whatsoever. What could possibly go wrong? Doing a BIOS flash possibly on someone else's motherboard that is worth a lot of money. Yeah, nothing could go wrong there, could it? So yeah, hopefully you're all very well. I'm super boiling. It is very, very hot. It's not been a very warm day here today in sunny Bristol, but it's been sunny and it feels really humid. I don't know why. And then with the studio lights on in here, it does feel very warm, or is it just me getting a bit nervous? Although fortunately, the Dr. Swatch deodorant is doing its job and the pits are well intact, so that's all good. Let's say hello to some of you in the chat. Yeah, that probably is too much information, I do apologise. So we started off the stream, well we didn't, it was hours ago, and Mick Woods kindly donated £20 super chat, so thank you very much Mick Woods. Says, hey Mike and Kath, can't do this super chat thing from my bedroom TV. So here's an advance payment from the PC. Oh, from the PC, I get it. Thanks Mick, appreciate that. Ugly Bob is on form, it says Larger, Larger, Larger. which is actually quite relevant because if, unless you've been under a stone this week, you'll probably know that the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series has just launched on Disney+. And Larger, Larger, Larger was one of the tunes from one of the films that he actually started out in, called Obi-Wan, was in Trainspotting, as I think of it then. And in the film Trainspotting, there was a tune that said Larger, Larger, Larger. Or was it Larger, Larger, Larger? I'm not sure. I always get the words for songs mixed up. Kath will attest to that. I do it quite frequently.
Quite amusing, me.
Yeah.
Better, I think yours are.
I think I choose better words for the songs, but anyway. Welly Bob says, greetings everybody. Nick Barnes says, evening everyone from a sunny Humberside. Yeah, it's been rather warm today. Very warm. But very windy as well, so you don't really notice it. And like 1 minute I had my coat on because the wind was quite cold. The next thing I'm actually baking. And I've just had the oven on, cooking food. And then George has put the oven on to cook his food, so the oven's been on, which is increasing the heat. The sun sets in the west. I had to think about it then. So the window in the studio actually faces basically kind of northwest. So the sun is blaring in. If I open up the shutters now, it's blinding. It really is.
It's blinding on your bums.
There's another super chat coming in from Uggs. Cheers, Uggs. It says Stella Artois unfiltered tonight, sipping down a treat. Stella Artois. I haven't had that in years. That used to be the beer of choice back in the days of being a rough hooligan, smoking weed and going down the park and buying Stella on draft from a local off-licence in a bloody great 5 litre, basically, petrol can and drinking it out of the bottle in the park. There you go, there's an insight to what my life used to be like. It was on draft. Although by the time we'd walked to the park and shook it up a bit, it had a little bit of a head on it. Not quite as much as in the morning when I released said fluids, but that's another story as well. Kieran Atkinson's with us, Glenn's with us, says evening all, Nick Barnes, Nicholas Barlow, good evening everyone. Looks like Bob's been opening his twist off caps with a bottle opener. Better safe than sorry. Daniel's done it as well with a wine bottle. Wine bottles with screw tops. How bizarre is that? Lucky Man's with us as well. How you doing, Lucky Man? Stuart Cleary, our man from the what's the Emerald Isles, is that they call it? Hi all from sunny Dublin. Not a cloud or trail in the sky. Very glad to hear it.
I don't see many here today, actually.
Today has been moderately clear skies.
Yeah.
A few clouds, but none of the things, those other lines in the sky. Ordinary Dudes reporting for duty. How you doing? And Geordie General Paul Bakewell. Geordie General says Teesside. That's not very kind. We try to be inclusive here if possible. Unless you're from Wales. Joke. It's a very friendly rivalry Bristol and Wales have, or Cardiff I'd say. Welly Bob says computers, they are finicky. They certainly are. Paul Bakewell says early start tonight. We're doing 8 o'clock starts because the 9 o'clock ones, generally if it runs on it means it's getting towards midnight, and being that I'm an old fart I need my sleep. So Dutch Jan's with us. Stuart Cleary said that one. Wild Bill says hello you rabble, and Mike and Kath, how the hell are you all? We're pretty reasonable. A little bit sunburnt, as you can probably see. It's bloody warm in here as well.
You've knocked me off a lovely trellis, haven't you?
I have been building things in the garden today. So where are we? Gianluca Di Maria. I don't know if I said that right, but hi, how you doing? Akash Surma says, I have an issue with my new B450 Tomahawk Max motherboard. It cannot recognise CPU, still showing LED on bug panel. Give me solutions, please. Do you know what? The Tomahawk Max and the Tomahawk Max 2 I don't know if there's something weird going on with them. There's been at least probably 5 people this week that I can think of that have had issues with that particular board and modern processors. Whether or not it's a Newegg issue and there's just a batch of them, I don't know. One of them I definitely know that we resurrected, and it was basically the first flash just didn't work properly, so it had to be reflashed again. Normally with most motherboards, if they're not recognizing the processor, it's either, well, if the flash hasn't started or progressed, it means normally the USB stick isn't recognized or compatible, the BIOS file's wrong or in the wrong format, or hasn't been fully unzipped. Sometimes if you unzip with WinRAR, it does appear to do a slightly worse job than it does with Windows built-in unzipper for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. I've actually noticed that twice. So once would be a rarity, twice would be slightly more common. So I actually stopped using WinRAR for obviously that particular purpose anyway. A cache, a cache. I'm sorry. Best thing to do, probably not tonight. Well, you can if you want to, but go over to our Discord chat. The links will be in the video description, and we can try and walk you through it, or at least I will tomorrow or whenever I get some free time. I'm not sure what time zone you're in, but yeah, I'll definitely try and help you out with it. We are very busy, but if anyone else on the Discord wants to jump in and give you a bit of a hand with it, you may find a quicker answer there. Alexa's with us. The Vampire Queen herself says 21 degrees, cloud and raining here in good old Ohio. Well, it says here on the old Microsoft doodah at the bottom of my screen, it says it's currently 16 degrees. But it feels way, way warmer than 16 degrees. I can tell now the sun has just started dipping. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I'll have a look on my internal thermometer and see what it says. Oh God, what's that connected to now? It currently says in here it is 25.1 degrees. So yeah, it's pretty warm. 25 degrees inside. It feels it really does. What was I saying? Yeah, so yeah, it's normally motherboard is going to be, if it's not flashing, it's probably because the BIOS stick, the memory sticks are the wrong size, not formatted. The file is the wrong file, not extracted, not renamed properly. Other than that, there can be other odd things which happen. If you sort of part flash the board, sometimes they get into a little bit of a loop and you have to kind of deliberately kill a flash a couple of times in order for it to kind of restart from the beginning. But yeah, the flash BIOS thing is never the simplest of things to do. Hence why I have this PC here with me today, which we'll be showing you shortly, so don't worry, we'll be taking a look at that in some great depth. Mick Wood says, hi Mike and Kath and all you viewers around the world, 3 chilled bottles of Peroni ready. All looks and sounds good. Thank you very much. Peroni. Can't beat a good Peroni.
Bit of lime in the top.
Lime in it? Do you have lime with Peroni?
Do you when you get it down the Italian?
Do you?
Don't you put a lime in the top?
Oh, I don't know. Don't think so. Weird. Mint Hawk says, hey everyone. How you doing, Mint Hawk? Mark Point says, happy Saturday, y'all. Kieran Atkinson says, has the same graphics card as me, Gigabyte Vision 3060. I think it's a 3060. I'll be honest with you, I've literally had just a very quick glance at what's inside there to get a list for the video description. I haven't looked at any great depth.
And I've done the links, so they might all be wrong.
Yeah, Kath's done the links, so if they're wrong, blame Kath. Geordie General says, same as mine, all Corsair apart from the GPU and motherboard. I wonder how long it's going to be until Corsair start making motherboards or processors. It can't be a million miles off. Lucky Man says their brother's daughter's and his cousin's uncle. That's exactly right. Mick, I know, where did that go? I've lost the plot here. Jason Wood says, hi, I'm back. How you doing, Jason? Ordinary Dude, Dutch Jan's with us. How you doing? Paul Bakewell said down, Peter Stiff. How you doing? Message was retracted for some reason. Not sure what that was. What am I missing? Mookie MC. First step into PC troubleshooting is to jiggle some wires. It never helps. Hello all. Who else we got? David Thompson says Kenobi was garbage. I've not seen it. It's one of those things I'm not really... I liked the movies, Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, etc. because that was kind of like my era. The more modern stuff, I'm kind of... If it's on and I've got nothing better to do, I'll probably watch it, but I've not made any massive attempts to watch it, to be honest with you. Ordinary Dude says coffee, coffee, coffee. Oh God, that's the last thing I need at the moment. Aletta says, Obi-Wan, why did they give an outlaw a show? Who knows? They were bored and they needed money, and they knew that'd be a cash cow. That's me being cynical. Ugly Bob Super Chat there. Baby U says, do you still play CSGO? I have very, very briefly. I've not been having a lot of time for games recently, which I should be making more time for, really. I have been still grinding Far Cry 6. I don't know what it is about that game, I just keep on going back to it. Far Cry 7 better be good, otherwise there will be trouble. Matthew Day says, just got in from the yellow sticker in, or sticking. Mark Point says, I pray that Obi-Wan is 100 times better than that Halo junk. Yeah, I've not watched that either. It was Lucky Man said that. Stuart Cleary, yep. Drinking in the park, those were the days, yes. I think we're pretty much... Lucas Bezaria Cardoso. Hello from Brazil. Love your channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. We actually looked on a map the other day to see where Brazil is and other countries, because we're not very well travelled, myself and Mrs. Mike's Unboxing. So we went to our local chip shop and they've got a world atlas on the wall. So when you're waiting for your chips, or your pie, or your pasty, or your cod, you can just have a look at the map and look at where countries are and how big they are. I'm not sure if it's actually to scale. I'm really not sure. It does look bizarre. But we pointed out, bizarrely, I can pick out most of the American places.
We looked where a letter lived.
And a few of the English ones. Yeah, we found... where's the letter live? Up there. Found that one straight away.
But we couldn't believe Canada was so much bigger than
Yeah,
America.
Canada is massive. Like, literally huge.
I was shocked.
Mind you, we live in a tiny little pissant country here in England. So, in comparison, all of your countries are huge. This is like a tiny little island dot. Peter Stiff says, just come to Wales today, camping for a week. Past your house on the way. Nice one. Probably did, actually. Evan Man says, hello, Mike. How you doing, Evan? Mark P says, hey, Mike P from Mark P. Mike P. Oh, Mike P. There's a Mike P. One eye on your stream, another on the footy. Fair dues.
And bandy.
Apparently there is some football on tonight. Some UEFA thing. Champions of Champions or Top Gun or something. I'm not sure what it is. Something like that. I do know, really. I'm just playing. Jeff Watson's with us. Says hi. Up all. While Bill says mine's 22 degrees C. While Bill 16.1 outside. It just seems really hot here today.
But cold outside.
Yeah. Maybe it's just me having hot flushes and getting old. Hit it with rectifying stick. Good idea.
Why doesn't it get you present?
Kieran Atkins says, I'm so conflicted about upgrading to AM5. DDR5 is mega pricey, alongside the probable high prices of the boards and CPUs. And obviously, first gen boards are going to be... it's going to be a learning curve. I remember very, very well the first AM4 boards. I myself had a X370 Prime from Asus with a Ryzen 7 1700X, I believe it was. And actually, it's not that long that I've got rid of that, to be honest with you. But when that first came out, it wasn't the most stable of boards. Coming from a previous CPU, which was the Intel i7 2600K, I think it was. 2600K? That sounds about right. Yeah, 2500K was the i5. Yeah, 2600K, and that thing was rock solid stable. And the difference between the Ryzen 7 and the Intel at the time wasn't huge, but the platform price certainly was. But yeah, it was a little bit buggy. But in the end, it actually turned out to be an extremely stable setup. So I'm very pleased with AM4. I don't necessarily see the point in changing to AM5. I know it's just one of those things that ends up having to be done. I just hope they don't mess it up. I really don't. Because AMD are doing some pretty good stuff, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they have said that AM5, when it comes out, they won't be concentrating just on the kind of Halo parts, like the top end stuff. They will be doing some entry level stuff as well, which kind of entry level and DDR5 doesn't quite make sense to me. Although they have dialed it in right with the chipset. For those of you who don't know, AM5, the new the new AMD platform, the chipset basically is the same on every single board. But what they do is, to add extra features and extra PCI Express lanes, all that kind of stuff, they just add another chip. Very much like the chiplet design of your AMD processor, they've done the same with motherboards. So the B650 chip is basically the same as the X670 chip, and the X670 Extreme is just those other ones who've got more of them. So 1 versus 2, more than likely. So yeah, interesting how that's going to work, and in theory it should make the chipset drivers somewhat easier to manage and hopefully a little bit more stable, because they'll all be working off of one kind of base. We'll find out. Sky Stalker's in the chat. How you doing, Sky? And Tina and family? Sky says Canada is big. It is huge. Insanely big.
Look at what...
William Bodie says, but once the world did belong to the British. Yes. I think it still does.
Look what Wild Bill wrote.
Wild Bill, what did Wild Bill write? Where to? Further up?
Bit of useless info, no doubt.
Bit of useless info. If the UK had the same population density as Canada, the UK population would be just over 30 people.
I like info like that.
That's insane. Dutch Jan says in Germany, Ryzen 5 5500 is 120 quid. I still haven't even turned on my Ryzen 5 5500 motherboard setup, which is literally in the other room, waiting to have something done with it. I really need to pull my finger out my backside. What else we got? Pete Unwin, how you doing, Pete? Not seen you for a while. Good to see you back in the fold. Mark Point says the sun never sets on the British Empire. Oh God. I was going to get onto a slightly more political view. I don't know about you lot, but I'm getting pissed right off with this whole Jubilee thing. Am I a bad person? I am very, very proud of my country. I'm less proud of the monarchy, I'll be honest with you. I think we've kind of blown this out of all proportion, all the partying and stuff. So yeah, we get a day off, great. But it's going to cost us an absolute fortune of taxpayers' money. Anyway, I'll leave that one there. So let's take a look at this PC.
In other times maybe, but at the moment it's not quite right, is it?
In the time of austerity, having some massive £34 billion party for a day seems a little bit extravagant. But anyway, I am a miserly bastard, aren't I? I really am. Right, let's have a look at this PC. Now, this PC has been pretty much mostly built. So, not by me, I hasten to add, it wasn't me. But saying that, considering it's apparently their first ever PC build, I think they've done pretty well. So I'm going to make some room on the desk, because this is actually a big old beastie. So I've got to try and work out how I'm actually going to get this on the screen so you can see what is going on. But bear with me, I will do my best. If that's not good enough, don't worry, there's always the football. Right, let's see if we can get this on without knocking the camera off. Sadly, this has rubber pads on the bottom rather than being foam, which I would prefer.
Black marks.
Oh, black marks on the desk. I'll get a black mark if I break it. Oh, look at that. I've centered that up pretty nicely, I think. Okay, so hopefully you can all see what's going on here. So we've got a case, as far as I know, is the Corsair. Oh, that feels a bit plasticky. I thought it was going to be metal. It's plastic. So this is the Corsair 5000D Airflow, I believe. I could be wrong on that. It might be a 5000X. I'm not sure what the differences are. It's a 5000 series anyway, I know that. And actually, I've got to say, it's a nice looking case. I am quite tempted to get one myself. It does look the bees Watsits. I'm not sure if I'd get a white one, because I think it would go very yellow very quick in our particular environment. But I think that would be a nice case. Lots of room for stuff. Oh, let me just clear that message off the bottom of the screen. That's probably annoying people already. There we go. Let's see if I can bring this in a little bit closer. No offense, Mark. There we go. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, fantastic. So, starting from the top. So, in the top here, we've got the Corsair. I think that's the H150i capellix. I'm not well up on Corsair branding, I've got to be honest with you. So, do apologise in advance if I get anything wrong, which no doubt I will at some point. Is it a 150i? Someone let me know in the chat. Not that I can actually see it, but it would be nice. I wonder if I get a chat. Oh, actually, I can't be bothered. Let me spin that screen around and see that. Ah, there we go. So, what Bill says is the 5000X. Okay. Thank you very much. O'Reilly says, wow, that's big. That's what they all say. O'Reilly says, very white. It is. I'm assuming they've gone with the plan of having a kind of a very monochrome setup, with it being predominantly, obviously, on the more white side of things, as you can probably make out. So motherboard wise, we've got the Gigabyte. This is the B550 Vision D-P, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. Where is the, yeah, B550. I wasn't sure if it was the X570, but yeah, it's the B550 version. It's a lovely looking motherboard, actually. It's just a shame that it's covered up by the graphics card. But yeah, guess what? It is what it is. The graphics card is a GeForce RTX Vision, and I think that is a Vision OC 12GD. So that's the revision 2. So that's going to be the RTX 3060 12 gig. Lovely card. Is that a triple fan? I guess it would be. Yeah, that is a triple fan. I love this pump block.
Can you just answer Dutch Jan? Sorry.
Those are nice. Can I answer Dutch Jan? I can't even see Dutch Jan.
Right, question. If I have two PCs on one monitor, do I need the PC that I don't use take off the power?
If you have two PCs on one monitor, do I need to take the PC off? No, it doesn't matter which PC's on, if that's what you're asking, Dutch Jan. As long as one PC is on, that's what it will switch to. And then if you turn the other PC on, obviously you can use your hotkeys or a button to switch between them. So yeah, at the bottom here, it looks like everything's wired up. We've got our lots of USB connections, USB 3 front panel header. There's also a USB Type-C front panel connector. There's a fan connection there. We've got obviously the 24-pin power connector is plugged in. Looks like it's slightly out of line. Shouldn't be a problem. Nice thing about this board is there is a diagnostic D-LED there with a numeric display, so you can see exactly what's going on. Just above there, there is that one there, that clicky button. If you can just about see in there, hopefully you can. That is the BIOS flashback button. So when you want to flash the BIOS, that is the one you use. Top right corner, we've got the CPU connector, which actually feels a little bit loose in there. So I might need to take the radiator out to make sure that is actually in. It feels a bit loose, but we'll see what it's like. And the cooler appears to be tightened down enough. I'm not sure if that's actually the right bits for the cooler. Looks like it's bent on quite an angle. Maybe someone, if anyone else has got one of these coolers, if you could let me know if that angle on the top looks right. It looks like it's not. It looks like it's on the screws that are holding it in are kind of like that, and rather than being flat like that, they're kind of like bowed in like that. I'm not sure if that's normal or not. I'd imagine that was going to give some weird kind of pressure on the CPU. Yeah, let me know in the chat. I'm not too sure on there. Yeah, so 360mm rad at the top. Nice situation there with the pipes being where they are, so that's not going to create any pump noise or anything. RAM wise, I'm not sure what the RAM is actually. Let's have a look. So the RAM is Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro. Nice stuff. And speed wise, what is that? DDR4 3600, what am I? 3200 CL16. So yeah, not a bad choice. I probably would have gone with 3600 personally.
Both bills said they do bend down.
But it's absolutely fine.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, thank you, Wild Bill. What else have we got here? So, oh, there is a, I think is that an MP600? Let's look at MP600. So that's a Gen 4 X4 NVMe drive. Not sure the size on that one. I can't see if it doesn't actually say on there. No doubt we can find that out later if we boot it up. What else is there? Nothing else really of note that I can tell. Make sure that all these are plugged in and okay. Not that it's going to make much difference. Generally, I would have thought that this board should have just posted for the first time. Because of it being a relatively modern board, and the processor, I should say as well, AMD, it's a Ryzen 7 5800X. Great little chip. Definitely going to need that rad to try and keep that sucker cool, and this is going to be undervolted. I'm not sure what their plans are for it. Also, just in down here, which might have to lean that forward a bit, there is a diagnostic LED down there, more like the traditional MSI one where you've just got the 4 LEDs. So it's going to go CPU, RAM, GPU, then boot device. Although obviously that one at the top is far superior because it gives you a readout. And also that is quite useful for a visual aid when the PC is booted up and running. That will revert back to showing you the temperature in Celsius, I believe.
Derek also says they bend inwards.
They bend inwards, right?
They bow inwards slightly.
They bow inwards, okay. Actually, let me get a close-up for those of you that have mentioned about the cooler, because I got to be honest, I'm a little bit out of my depth on that one. So I'm not sure if you can see. Oh shite! That is a technical term. So if you can see that, does that look right? That looks like it's quite a bend on that, but I wouldn't have said that was completely awful, but I don't know. I am not an expert on these types of coolers, I'll be honest. Although George has got one of these in his computer upstairs, so I could just go and have a look at that, really. Where's the fun in that? There we go, zoom you back out. So yeah, otherwise, it all looks like it's been done pretty nicely. So RAMs are all installed correctly. Got slots 2 and 4, which is obviously what you want to do. All the cabling looks to be pretty good, pretty tidy.
Bob says, oh, that doesn't look right. Wild Bill says, yep.
Wild Bill says it looks okay, or?
I'm not sure.
That's very, very white and shiny. Oh, and at the front there we've got the 3 fans, which I believe come with it. I could be wrong. Let's see if I can get that right there. And you've got the glass front panel on there. Yeah, it's good stuff. Let's put that camera back. See, no, don't want to see the chat screen, do you? Okay, there we go. Right, let's flip this round and we'll take a look at the back. Now it's quite an interesting design case because on the back there is actually a door which you can turn around to cover up all the unsightly bits, which evidently if you're using this many Corsair parts you are going to get a few things. Yeah, that'll be fun. So there is a door here. I wonder if that comes off. Yes, it does. Let's take that off because we don't really need that at the moment. No doubt the cats will enjoy that. So is that, can you guys see that okay? Yeah, I think you can. So there's a lot going on here. RM750X power supply. I think I said it was a 750 in the description. Either way, if you click on the link if you're interested in one, it will take you to the same thing. The I/O actually on the back of this motherboard is incredible. I'm going to spin this back round a minute, sorry. Oh. This makes me very nervous. So the I/O is awesome. So you've got two USBs at the top, one of which is your BIOS USB, so that's the one next to the keyboard and mouse port. So you've even got a legacy port on there, which is kind of cool. So you've got a display port and HDMI. That says display port in. DP in. That must be wrong, because you wouldn't have an input there, I'm sure.
Is there a glass panel?
There normally is a glass panel on the side, but they didn't bring the panels around with them, which is probably good, because I would have probably broken them.
I was wondering why they were. I don't get why they put the door there. Is no glass panel. Is there no glass panel?
I'm not sure, is the honest answer. Yeah, I don't know.
So is there glass on the back as well?
Yeah, I think there's glass both sides. No, it can't be actually, because there's fans on the back side, so I don't think there would be. So we've got two USB Type C, got USB 3.2 Type A, more 3.2 Type A's, more 3.2 Type A's. Those would be those are color coded red, so they must be from the chipset rather than from the. No, they'll be from the processor. Those are from the chipset. And two 2.5 gigabit LAN ports. One 2.5 gigabit LAN ports would be nice. Two is just like overkill. And obviously you've got a full complement of outputs. So you've got your SpeedIF and your 4-point surround, 8.1 whatever surround sound system. Most people probably only ever use the headphone jack, but it's nice that it's there. Option obviously for vertical mounting the GPU if you wanted to. Although probably would take it a little bit too close to the glass, I think, really. Could do with being a bit wider for that particular purpose.
Red USB allows offline standby charging.
Ah, thank you for that. O'Reilly, bless you. So let's have a look back in here and see what is going on. So this is one of the things which I personally dislike about Corsair's ecosystem, is that there's just so much going on. Now, obviously there is a Commander Pro, I think that is. Is that Commander Pro? Doesn't actually say on it. I'm pretty sure that's the Commander Pro. Let me know if I'm wrong. It does happen.
Try another PSU first.
So where does that go to? That goes to... Actually, where does that go? There's so much cabling on here. Where does that even go to? Right, so that goes to the CPU. That goes to the pump. So there's a lot of stuff here. There really is. So the USB 2. That's going to the hub.
Comes with the AIO.
Ah, right. Okay. Thank you for whoever said that.
David Aiken.
David Aiken, bless you for that.
Yeah.
So, would I be right in thinking? I'm not a Corsair expert, as you probably well know by now. But would I be right in thinking that this has got 6 ports? It's using 3 for the AIO. Would there be any benefit in actually getting rid of that, the fan hub, and getting rid of the RGB hub, and just plugging those 3 and those 3 into here, and then ditching those all together, and then just mounting that up here? Would that be easier and be less things to control? Because I'm guessing that, so the fan controller, that's going to be going straight to the motherboard, isn't it?
David Aiken says, yes, have all fans go into one place.
Yeah, that would be a lot easier to control, wouldn't it? Because that is asking for trouble. Because when you go into the Icue software rather, you're going to be controlling this with one bit, that with another bit. Yeah, it's just
yes, ditch included hubs. David Aiken's are already slick.
Right, ditch included hubs. Okay.
Easier, cleaner, and neater.
Yeah, I figured that was the case. Nice that there's 3 mounts on the back here. And the cable management channels are quite a nice thing to see as well.
And then you're going to check the SSD.
Check the SSD. Okay. Well, I think probably the best thing to do first of all is to just try and boot this up and see what actually happens. see if it will generate a display or an error code or whatever. Because I'm not entirely sure what is going on. I might actually quickly just pull out the power supply just to make sure that everything in there is connected where it should be. I think that's going to be a prudent thing to do before we do anything, and being that it is actually round this side at the moment anyway. So luckily it's only a couple of screws there, and it doesn't appear that it's been kind of cable managed to within an inch of its life. So let's just have a brief look at the power supply. I don't think the power supply is going to be the issue, but some of you have already said about the power supply, so it's probably a good idea just to have a quick nose. What was that?
What message? There, you finish work at 6:30 every night, so I need time.
Alright. So, is this going to slide out easily, or is that going to be a cluster F? So what have we got plugged in? So PCIe 4+4 CPU, 6+2 CPU, and that's the GPU one. So that might be an issue already then. So what is that there? That's peripheral and SATA, that's fine. 6+2 PCIe, 6+2 PCIe and 4 pin. Alright, okay, so that'll do both. So I'm guessing from that, because it says 6+2 PCIe and 4+4 CPU, both of those here at the end can be used for either a graphics card or for a CPU. Lots of peripheral and SATA connections though.
Danielle said, wonder if that Corsair PS has the cables with capacitors at the load end of the cable. If so, should they be used with cable extenders?
These, I don't think these have got cable extenders. That is the cables that came with the power supply. But that's, yeah, that looks fine. Just make sure that does say CPU on it. I don't think it makes much difference. Doesn't have anything on it. And this one is going to the graphics card. So yeah, they just used a single molded plug there. So that's got one pin missing, and that hasn't got one pin missing. So let's try that first of all, because not getting CPU power is quite a common issue. Actually, saying that at the end of this one, PCIe, so no, that is fine. I'm still not 100% about this one on the motherboard, so let's see if I can get into that. And let's quickly pull that out of there. Oh yeah, so that's fine. So that says CPU. So that one is going to be plugged into this one on the end. And I can put that back up in through here. And plug that back in. So that's looking good. It's strange actually, I know it's only a B550, but considering how much potential this board's got, it's only got one 8-pin CPU header. You'd think that it would go along the lines of kind of X570 territory, where it would have maybe another 4 or even another 8. Anyway, they're plugged in nicely, so that's all good. Yeah, I think we're okay. I think power supply wise, everything looks to be okay, and the main power cables for the CPU appear to be planted in absolutely fine. So I'm going to put that back in. Actually, let's plug the GPU one in now. Going to be easier to do that now than what it is going to be to do it later.
Are those cables not directional?
The cables don't appear to be directional now. Well, they kind of are. The one that says PCIe CPU says CPU on the end, and the ones for the graphics cards have got the split on the other end, so they split into 2 lots, so that they can't go in any other way. Get in there. When you get hold of a PC which someone else has started, there's always that tendency to just want to rip it apart and start over. But it's not my PC, so I'm not going to do that. My brief is to just get it to post. So that is what I'm going to attempt to do. Although
Lodi says turn off secure boot in BIOS, that may be it.
we're not even, William, we're not even getting as far as the BIOS. Getting to the BIOS would be a wonderful thing.
Tick.
Yeah, tick.
Mission accomplished.
We'll tick that one. We'll cross that bridge when we fall over it. So I'm trying to get an idea in my head of how much this PC must have cost. The graphics card alone must have been 500 at least.
Danielle says, I found the cables received with my Corsair supply to be a little finicky. They just did not cleanly snap into place. Had to really look to make sure they were locked in place.
All right. Yeah, that is part of the reason why I've kind of added another kind of a double visual on it, just to make sure everything's okay. I'm having a fiddle. Anyway, I think we're all good here. I probably would like to maybe disconnect a lot of this stuff just in case, but I think for now it's probably going to be a-okay. Like I said, I would really love to get rid of all of that mess there, because that is, yeah, that could drive an OCD person slightly wild. But luckily my OCD limited to only to certain things, and someone else's PC is definitely not on that list. Right, I'm going to get myself a power lead, and I'm going to get myself an HDMI cable, and I'm going to rig up my monitor, and we'll see if we can get a display. So talk amongst yourselves, and if you've got any ideas what you think this is likely to be. I think it's going to be a BIOS flash, if I'm completely honest. That would be my my guess, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I have got my BIOS flash USB stick ready, willing and able. And I've got a kettle lead. Yes, I have got a kettle lead. Now, as funny as it would be, I don't think saying bang when I turn this on is going to be appropriate, being it's not my PC. So please don't. Feel free to say it in the chat, but please don't tell Kath to say bang, because otherwise I may lose my shit. to be blunt. And I don't want it to blow up. Ultimate Tech Hub Mike, how you doing? Sorry for showing up late. That's all right. You can you'll have to do 100 lines. I should not be late for Mike's stream. Otherwise he gets very arsey. He doesn't. I don't mind. You're a busy man, and you've got a pool to swim in, you bastard. I love you really, Mike. I am slightly envious of your pool. When I say slightly, I mean very. There we go. Okie dokie, let's turn that on. I never like turning on power supplies. I always think they're going to go boom. Alright, let's see if we can plug this in. I don't think we're going to get an output.
So it might have that little bit of fire. Yeah.
No, it's not. Right, there we go.
Oh.
And so what we got? C8. I think we're looking for 00. I've not owned one of these before, so I think 00 is the boot.
Right, Kevin is.
Yes.
Kevin says all switches on and lights up, but no display output on monitor.
All right.
Paul, it does have glass surrounds. I'm watching. Many thanks, Mike.
Paul, if you're watching, and Kevin, if you're listening, I've just turned it on, and there you go. There's your display. So it's basically ready to install Windows. I don't know what I've done. In fact, I probably haven't done a great deal, but it's there. So yeah, there you go. So
An hour and 10 minutes to spare.
yeah, I've this stream normally goes on till 10, so that's okay.
Well done, Babs.
So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Is the honest answer.
Maybe the car journey did it. We had a video player years ago, and it worked at my house.
Are they still in the chat?
I haven't seen them in the chat. I've only seen them on your Facebook.
Message Paul and see if he wants me to try install in Windows 11 or Windows 10. I can get.
Or should I put it's working?
It's working. I'm not sure if he's in the chat or not, or if he's watching. So yeah, there's an unusual one. So I've got to be honest with you, it does look nice and surprisingly quiet. I guess we could probably go in and set up the BIOS. That would probably be a good idea.
So is that it? It's working. Do you want mine to put on Windows 10/11?
Yeah. See what they say.
Kevin's in the chat now.
Kevin's in the chat.
Could it have been one of the wires not connected properly?
It could have been. My money would have been on that CPU connector at the top there, because when I did it, it was a little bit on the loose side. Not enough to be that concerning, and normally, I don't know if you'd actually, I wonder if that was, let me try it actually. I'll turn this off now. Where's the off button? So I'll turn it off, and what I'll do is, if I loosen off the CPU connector, so it's there, but it's not fully connected. Where's the power button? I've lost it again. So we'll see if it'll boot up now. Yeah, it is. So even though even if it's in loosely, it seems like it'll still boot. Put it out all together. In theory, that shouldn't boot up at all with the other connector disconnected completely.
If you can install, yes, please.
Which one? Right, so now it's yeah, now it's not booting. So maybe it was the CPU connector that wasn't fully pushed in. It seems like it's trying to do something though. The fans are starting up, then they're stopping, then they're starting up again. And the CPU LED light is on, which is super common. Yeah, so I think that might have been what it was. And now I don't want to turn off.
You swap the GPU cable out of the PSU.
I moved the GPU cable. I think I plugged it into the same one. I won't turn off now. Oh, of course it won't do. It's looking Windows 10. Okay. All right, we'll do a quick install of Windows 10 on there, and we'll have a quick look in the BIOS as well and see what BIOS revision it's on. That is not a very nice cable actually, that CPU cable in that position. It could have done with having a little bit of extra height on this. Although saying that, it could be just one of those things, like we could plug this back in now and it might not work again. It might be just one of those things where it's a weird anomaly and it just works sometimes.
Why is there two power leads for GPU for one connection?
God, blimey, that was hard work. Right, GPU connection wise, you can if you want to. Most people would probably just use a single one, but a lot of power supplies come with doublers. So you can use one or the other. Doesn't really make a difference which one you could do. It just gives the illusion of you're getting twice the power, but...
You moved it from next to the CPU socket to the one lower down.
Did I? So maybe I'll show you that then. So I'll move that power socket from where it was. So which one was that?
Next to the CPU socket to the one lower down. You moved it to.
Peripheral SATA. think I've put it back in the same one.
Well, Bill says you moved it from next to the CPU socket to the one lower down.
Right, let's actually, let me try that again. I'm going to turn it on now and see. I think it's going to work anyway because the monitor's flicked across. So all I've done now is just plugged in the CPU back into its normal slot. Yeah, and there we go. So we've got the insert boot disk. I've got to be honest with you, I'm kind of gutted. I was hoping it was going to be ruined and I was going to have to be a hero and fix it. But instead, I haven't. So let's have a look in the BIOS. Oh no! Oh dear! I just did Alt Control Delete on the wrong computer. Let's not reset the stream computer. That's probably not a good idea.
That's the side panels.
Ah, right, okay. Oh yeah, so it's glass with a ventilation. Ah, I see. Right, what do I need? Right, let's turn it off. If it is, it could potentially be a dodgy power supply. I'm not entirely sure. Probably actually as well. Are they watching the stream, Kath?
Yeah.
Excellent, okay. So when you were trying to get the computer up and running...
Do they want you to tidy those fans while you're there or not?
I hope not. I did notice that this HDMI connector, that was blanked off. And I'm kind of wondering if you maybe had the graphics plugged into the top here. Because if you had it plugged in that position, that isn't going to work and it won't boot. And it'll probably stay on the... Actually, this...
Jazzy is...
Let's plug that back in.
Jazzy is there now. Oh, you can't see chat now either.
I can't see chat at the moment. I can see chat, yeah. Jezzy says, yes, we are Mike, lol.
So that's who, and then Kevin's is native normal.
Have you tried the GPU? So actually, who's Jezzy then? Jezzy says, drop kick it, Mike. Have you tried the DG? I'm confused. Anyway, let's try that now, see what happens. I'm pretty sure that this is going to give the CPU error light as well. So if I spin that round now, obviously we're not going to get an output on that screen because even though the computer is booting, there isn't onboard graphics, so that's not going to provide an output. And I'm pretty much sure, yeah, you're still going to get the AE on the motherboard. Oh, can you see that? So you still get the AE on there. I'm not sure if you get the CPU LED down the bottom there. No, you don't. So there's LEDs there. Those would normally be on CPU if there's a problem. So maybe that wasn't it. It could have just been a loose connection. Thank you for the super chat. I'm not sure who it is. Dave Aiken, thank you. You said Aikens. Is it? He hasn't got an S on the end. How dare you, Kath?
It's Dave Aiken's super chat.
Oh, Dave Aiken.
Apostrophe S.
Dave Aitken, apostrophe S, super chat. Thank you, Dave Aitken.
Grammar.
The grammar police are in full effect. Right. Okay, so...
Mike equals secret Corsair rep.
Yeah. Corsair, they won't even answer emails. Because I'm not American enough. Okay. Thank you, Dave. So, which one?
Well, Bill says, you did fix it. The GPU was plugged into the socket next to the CPU. You even mentioned that you could use either. Then you unplugged the GPU cable and plugged it in a socket lower down.
Right. Let's, just to validate what we're saying, because I'd love to be accidentally right. Being accidentally right is the best thing that can possibly happen. Because it means that it's instinct. I've instinctively fixed it. Let me move this keyboard out of the way so I don't accidentally end the stream by mistake. So we're going to validate what Bill was saying there. So the power supply's coming out again. And then we'll try plugging it back into the other slot and see if that causes it to fail to boot up. Tufty says, how much did you pay for the 3060? I didn't. if you're new into the stream, I'm basically doing this for basically like a friend of the family kind of thing. So if somebody who's bought a PC off us previously, their brother has a daughter. The daughter bought the PC and has assembled it and bought the parts and put it all together herself. I believe it's a girl. I could be completely wrong.
Niece, I think, so.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't want to be mispronouncing anybody, because apparently that's a bad thing these days. Although I've been called all sorts. Right, so that is where we are with it currently. I don't think I've changed it. Was that there before, or was it up there?
Jezzy, also Mike, you have watched my videos and forwarded samples onto me before. Hello.
Have I? Oh, bloody hell, I'm not sure. Jezzy. Who's Jezzy? Oh, Jezzy, that's oh God, what's the channel? I know it is Jez something, isn't it?
It would be Jezzy, wouldn't it?
No, but I'm trying to think of the channel name.
Well, it would be the same.
Is it Jez's Reviews? I'm not sure. Anyway, Wall Bill, never lose it. Is that what? Someone rewind the stream, please. Was it like this at the beginning, or have I actually done something which actually is gone towards making this better? Jezzy, text simplified. I probably have seen that. I can't remember now. That sounds terrible. Jezzy. I'm gonna have to watch your channel and see what you've done. Yeah, I probably have forwarded samples on. Probably from thermal take, no doubt. Well, Bill, yes, it was like that. I was wrong. Okay. So I didn't accidentally fix it. Well, maybe I did accidentally fix it. I don't know. Maybe one of these cables just wasn't in quite enough. That is one of the things with modular power supplies, that it doesn't take a lot to lose a little bit of a connection on these. Unless those two were round the opposite way. That potentially might have been a thing, but I don't think it was. Oh, come on, I'm having problems getting it in.
Go on, you can do it.
I can't. Oh, there we are. Oh, there he is, right in.
The level 20 GT was one.
Level 20. God, that was a big old case, wasn't it?
I never really look where they're going.
No, we don't always know where they're going. We sometimes do. I've sent it to eTechnics a few times. I recognise his address. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so I think that's fun.
What could be the problem?
What, with this?
Yeah, it's fixed, isn't it?
I think, yeah, it's fine. It looks fine. Who's asking?
Jezzy.
Oh, yeah, Jezzy, yes. I think it's fine. I think it's...
Oh no, sorry, that's Tuffley.
Tuffley. I'm thinking it was probably one of these weren't fully inserted. That is my best guess at present. Or potentially they were using the wrong port on the back, although that wouldn't have produced the CPU light. So I'm slightly more hesitant to say that, really. Why is that cable going up through there? That's why I was struggling with that. Right, okay. I might have to rewire some of this. Because there's just too much of a kink on that cable. And it's driving me slightly bananas. No, that's too much. Okay, that's fine. So, I'm going to plug this in wrong now, no doubt. And it probably will never work again. Peripheral, so it's that side there. So I'm going to do that one there. I'm going to do that one in there. So this, in theory, should be completely different from how I did it last time.
Fix it till it's broke.
Fix it till it's broke. Now there is a bloody slogan for a t-shirt. Mike's unboxing, fix it till it's broke.
Tuffley says, how long have you been working with PCs?
How long have I been working with PCs? I honestly don't know. Probably, well, I had my first PC probably in '84 maybe. And I've probably taken that apart a few times.
84?
Yeah. First PC was a VIC-20. I used to always take that thing apart because the bloody thing kept on breaking. And every time I needed a new part, it was always having to send off to somewhere in bloody is it Maidstone? Where's that? Where Doe lives? Southampton. I used to always have to send stuff off to Southampton. It's like your VIC-20 RF output adapter is broken. You're gonna have to go to Southampton and get one. I was like, well, clearly it's 1984 and I'm a bloody 10-year-old. I don't see that as being a likely thing to happen, do you? We didn't have mail order or anything. Well, we did have mail order. You could literally phone someone up and say, can you please send me something? I will send you a check or postal order to the amount of, and then
Other fan connector thing was in the next box over.
la la la, can't see it, it's not there. Right, that's absolutely fine. Right, let's see if it actually still works. Now that I've been fanning around with that. I'll be honest, I'm not just saying this, but I genuinely don't like the Corsair ecosystem. I quite like the products, but I find that they're very hit and miss in terms of actually working. But I suppose because the sheer volume that they're selling...
Bang!
Oh, you absolute bastard.
I can't even see it.
Oh my god.
I thought it was okay now, it's fixed.
Even the hair on my back stood up then. Right, so it boots. And it seemed to boot up quicker then, or just my heart rate's gone up. Oh dear. Right, so I need a keyboard and mouse to take a look at the BIOS. And I'll set this up so you folks at home can see, hopefully. How am I going to do this? Actually, I don't need the stream one, do I, at the moment? So let's turn this around.
Dave Aiken's hair on. I cracked it up.
You Schweinhund. Right, I'll take the USB out of that one. Stick the USB in that one. It's ridiculous. I've got so many keyboards and mice, it's not even funny. And yet I am resorting to doing things like this. There is an Ethernet cable. Now this is actually quite cool because we do actually have 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. Was it Windows 10 they wanted?
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, right. That's actually quite a nice shot with the PC there.
That was from Ugly Bob for me doing bang, by the way.
Thanks, Ugly Bob.
Totes worth it.
Totes not worth it, bastard. Right, is this going to work? Have I got enough room on my desk? Right, can you lot see the screen? Probably not. Let's L focus a mundo. There we go, and switch that to manual. There we go.
Does that case have any front airflow?
Case has loads of front airflow, yeah. It's a little bit restricted because of the glass, but it can get in around the sides of it.
I can't see that.
Sorry. Oh, it's not going to be in focus now, is it? There is... So there is like a gap. Tempered glass, doesn't break easily. Cool. So yeah, you place that on there. So there is a very slight gap around the side here and there. It's something which bizarrely, this case is like ridiculously popular, like stupidly popular. And if it was any other manufacturer that just had that little slit down the side for airflow, they would be absolutely slated. But for some reason, Corsair seemed to get away with it. Anyway, so let's...
Speaking of 2.5 GB Ethernet, I need some cards and switches. What's the recommendations?
2.5 GB Ethernet, I would say at the moment, your best bet is QNAP for the switch, go with the 8 port, the QSW1108-8T. That is definitely by far the best value on the market at the moment.
There's videos coming out.
There is videos coming out. Why is that not working?
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah, there is.
The nearest I can get to it. It's a bit.
There's. Right, let's see if we can get into La BIOS. CMOS has been reset. Please configure your BIOS settings if needed. Okie dokie. So even the BIOS is in white. How cool is that? Are you guys able to see that, or does that need to be closer? I'll let Kath answer because I can't see the screen.
Super chat from Stuart.
Sorry, I'm drinking me tea. Stuart Cleary, €20 super chat. Bless you, sir. Money towards your nerve tablets from all the bangs. Thank you kindly. That was a tasty burger. I love cold tea. I'm not so a fan of iced tea.
The right side is a bit blurry.
Okay, let's level you guys up. There we go. I think that's almost spiffing. Blah 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 blah.
I can read that if the light is off. White BIOS.
Right, so CPU frequency, CPU temperature at the moment in the BIOS is still 40 degrees C. Now it's 26 degrees in here. Excuse me.
It has the latest BIOS.
So that's not too bad. It does have the latest BIOS. So the BIOS version is F15C. So that, yeah, I think that is actually the latest one. That sounds new. I'm pretty sure that is. It doesn't appear to be showing M.2s. Oh yeah, it does. So it's the Corsair MP600 core. Excellent stuff.
Do they want the light off?
Yeah, do you want the light off? Would that make it easier to read, or?
Because one saying with light off, and then where I was saying that's good lighting now.
Okay.
Because it's white.
I think that's probably about the best I can do at the moment.
Toughly asks, is 3070 and 5600X good for gaming and streaming?
Is what, sorry?
3070 and 5600X.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good gear. Hopefully, is that okay now, guys? Can you see that reasonably clearly? We're not going to be in here long, so don't worry.
RAM needs XMP.
It says the date is Sunday, so we'll do that. So I've never seen this BIOS before, actually. So XMP is currently disabled, so we are going to enable that. XMP profile 1. Boot sequence is going to be the core. That is fine. Let's go to advanced mode. So we are going to want a CPU clock control. We can leave that. Spread spectrum, yeah. All cores, blah blah blah. Precision boost overdrive. Do you or don't you? I suppose. Let's leave it as auto. You can always turn it on later. SVM mode's off. That's good. Cool and quiet is enabled. Yes. That's fine. Memory XMP profile. Yeah, profile 1. F-clock V-core. We could underclock it a little bit or undervolt it, but realistically, with this kind of cooling potential, it should be fine. VRM settings, you could change that if you want to. Set it to like turbo or high or something, but generally auto is going to be fine. It's probably best to leave it as auto at the moment, just to make sure Windows will install, and then tweak the other things after. So settings. Hello to Max. Says hello, I'm new here.
And then we don't have any BIOS settings, do we? Because they're all different.
No, I don't know.
We have walkthroughs.
I have walkthroughs. Most of the settings are going to be very down to the processor you've got and what it is actually capable of doing. So what we got here, I don't think there's anything else. ERP definitely disabled because that hampers your performance quite a lot actually. Power on by mouse, we'll turn that by move. Wake on LAN, yeah, I suppose we could leave that on. I/O ports. So first display is going to be the PCI Express slot 1. Audio is going to be on. Bifurcation should be set to auto. Above 4G enabled, and resizable bar we'll set to auto, I guess. Onboard LAN, we'll leave both of those on. Thunderbolt configuration, yeah, I suppose we might as well leave that enabled. Super I/O serial port, there's not one, so we'll disable that. USB configuration, we'll turn on port 60, 64 emulation, just in case. You never know, if it's an older keyboard, might need it. NVMe configuration is, I don't want any self-test, controller only, no, that's fine. SATA configuration, not sure what they're going to add, so I'll leave that as it is. And I think that's pretty much going to be it. I don't think there's really much else that we can change at present, or at least nothing that I'd feel comfortable doing without seeing if it's stable first of all.
Toughly, are there any main settings in BIOS when you first build your PC that you have to turn on?
Yeah, toughly, the first settings you should turn on really, turn on things like the XMP, that's probably the main one to do. Other than that, there isn't really a great deal that I would recommend, other than possibly turning off ERP mode, or like in this one, you got CSM support. So if you've got an older hard drive which was installed with Windows 10 on a previous machine, or Windows 7 or something, and you're planning to use it, you would have to enable CSM support. If it's a brand new system, brand new drives, then you don't need that. You can just use UEFI BIOS and UEFI settings. Some older graphics cards do require CSM support as well. It's more of a legacy thing. Anyway, I think that's going to be it. So let's put in our Windows 10 USB.
Ugly Bob said set speed to ludicrous speed.
Set speed to ludicrous speed and hold on to your helmet. Just make sure if you're holding on to a helmet, it is your own helmet.
And Mrs. Bob pushes the trolley.
Yeah. Right, let's save configuration. Hopefully it'll reboot. You never know. And while it's doing this thing, it's going to do some memory training now. Hopefully it'll come on. You can see the numbers on the... There we go. It's still doing memory training, but we should get a display any moment. There we go. And we got our BIOS screen. Toughly, you're my best friend in the world. Toughly says, if you don't mind answering this, how old are you? I guess around 35 to 40. Yep, that works for me.
How old was you in 84?
Yeah. I did give it away a little bit earlier. But thank you for your kindness. Install in. So we can probably zoom this out a little bit now, actually, can't we? Because I don't think many people are going to be interested in this. At the moment, we don't have a product key, so we'll leave that as it is. We may well need to go to premiumcdkeys.com/Mike's Unboxing to get ourselves a license key.
Matthew Day said, I would have done load optimized defaults before tweaking.
Yeah, I suppose that's something I've never done for no real obvious reason. But yeah, I guess you should do really. Windows unallocated space, there we go. So it's a 1 terabyte drive. We're losing a little bit on there because of the formatting, etc. Hopefully you can see that. Minthawk question, sometimes for the PC freezes when it boots, mouse cursor first, then everything, it loads the OS, but then suddenly this is a new system. Could it be problematic BIOS? Any other guesses? Yeah, it could be a dodgy BIOS, could be power management, I'm not too sure. Best thing to do, head over to the Discord and I will try and go through it with you, or so one of our other kind experts will hopefully be able to guide you through it. Possibly. What's Bob said now? Are you serious? Mike is 80? No, I'm not 80. Although I'm probably closer to 80 than I am to 30.
Yeah, says Bob. Definitely
Actually, no,
1935 to 1940.
No, but I'm in my mid to late 40s, let's say. So thank you for saying 35 to 40. I think it's the smooth, bold head that does it. It doesn't give away my grey hair, my age, and probably my youthful looks. Silly bee. Right, okay, that's going. So I can zoom back out of there.
Aletta's RAM voltage is 1.55V.
Aletta's RAM voltage is 1.55V. Wow. There is how you make everyone lose their shit on a stream. By setting your shutter speed way, way too low. Let's just go back to auto, that's probably easier. There we go. Well, it seems to be working. It's taken a Windows install, which is always a good sign. Hasn't rebooted yet, which is a less good sign. I'm not sure how I feel about that BIOS screen. Oh, seems to be working anyway. Radiator is still relatively cool to the touch.
Why was there black lines? That was probably...
The black lines were the shutter speed on the camera being set way too low. So it was doing like 1 FPS or something stupid. We are installing Windows. Let's turn it around a bit so you can see the PC. That's far more interesting than what else is going on here. So what are your thoughts on the case? I gotta be honest with you, I don't feel extremely positive towards it, but I don't feel extremely negative towards it. I think it's just it's a nice looking case, and it's pretty much a safe bet. Especially any case that can fit a 360mm radiator in the top and still not chop your fingers off when you're trying to get RAM, I think is a pretty decent bet. If I had unlimited funds, I would probably get one, because they are really nice cases. Although I'd be tempted to possibly go with the airflow version. Although, do they do the airflow version with all those fans? Corsair do make some bloody good fans, to be fair. Like it's pretty quiet. Not really moving a great deal of air at the moment, though.
It was Aletta's birthday on Monday.
Aletta's birthday was on Monday. Happy birthday, Aletta. Happy birthday, Aletta. Happy birthday, Aletta. Happy birthday to you. And your monkey. Kath told me to say that.
Oh, I love the thought of her hair in a monkey.
No, just no. So anyway, looks like the Windows install is going fine. Sit back while we relax and work our magic. That sounds like something you'd hear in a brothel. Not that I'd know, I've not ever been to one. Cup of tea, boys. Ah, dear.
Please don't pop off now.
Oh, God. Sorry. My bad. Now, there's going to be about 1,000 million updates now, isn't there? Bob. Bad Bob. Come on, Windows. So I think was this for personal use? Blah blah blah. Have they gotten? Oh, I'll tell you what. Let's just call this. Let's call it Corsair. Being that pretty much the whole thing is Corsair. Enter your password. Yep. Oh, how can there be a... Oh, you stupid thing. Yeah, limited experience. Corsair.
Thanks, Mike. Enjoyed the video. Your daughter will be very pleased that it's working.
No worries. Right. No, don't. No. 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 Wouldn't it be just better if they had a no to all button? That would make a lot more sense. And people would be generally a lot happier. Right, let's go through some of your questions, which I will try and do on the stream. Can I actually watch my own stream? Oh yeah, apparently I can.
Music's so important.
Oh my god.
I listen to it, I write it.
Shh, I don't want to listen to the adverts. Actually, no, listen to the adverts, because they generate money. Stuart says, Random Frank P done a nice white build recently. Awesome stuff. Just realised my phone's on the screen. Chloe Grice, thank you for that, whatever. No to all Windows spyware, yeah, definitely. Alessa says, that's funny, Linux doesn't make you jump through all those hoops. No, they just leave your PC wide open for hacking. Much easier. They don't even have to ask. It's just inherently there, part of the operating system. I'm joking. Ultimate Tech Hub says, Mike has 2.5 gigabit speeds. I'm jealous. Don't be jealous, it costs money. Ugly Bob says, Q, what's the best products for cleaning and restoring a car dashboard? Well, that would be, I've actually been using this today again, as I always do. Win's Display and Dashboard Cleaner. That is only if you've got a decent dashboard anyway, it's just dirty. That's good for it. If you want to restore it, then you should use something like,
Cockpit shine.
yeah, like cockpit shine type of thing.
I hate that stuff on my hands.
Greasy though.
Right.
Ultimate Tech Up says, nice cable management. That's my Achilles heel. I haven't done any cable management here. None at all.
Dutch Jam question. Did you do that one?
No,
PC
hang on.
won't boot after factory restore. What could that be?
Hang on. Right, it's picking up loads of stuff here, so... Oh, yeah, it's installing lots of stuff. The worst thing you can do at this time, when you've installed a Windows PC, is to start installing stuff. What you want to do is head over to Update and Security, and just get all the updates. Get the Windows updates out of the way. You can worry about your Steam library and all that kind of stuff after. Toughly says, Mike, do a benchmark with that PC. I might do a quick Cinebench, see how that goes. It's not my PC, so I don't want to be installing stuff on it, really, without, you know, it's someone else's PC, to be fair. Look at all the updates, oh my god. Ugly Bob says, cock and pit shine. Yes, you can use it for both of those. Preferably both at the same time. Mike, you going to use clean the nice case? Oh, yeah, get my fingerprints off it. Yeah, I will use that.
Q, Dutch Jan, go up.
Dutch Jan, where are we?
Underneath Harry higher.
Dutch Jan. I can't see Dutch Jan.
PC won't boot after factory restore. What could that be?
If a PC won't boot after a factory restore, it depends if the factory restore has changed the boot order. My first thing would be to check the boot order in the BIOS. That would be, yeah. If the PC won't boot up after a factory restore, either the drive is dead or dying, or the boot order's changed. Matthew Day says, and then AMD chipset and NVIDIA graphics. Correct.
Jeff Watson.
Am I going up or down here?
It's above the benchmark for that PC.
Alright. Toughly says, I've got an FX 4300 right now. You should speak to Matthew Day. He'll hook you up with a new processor. Right, that's installed that. So restart now. And there we go. Chloe says, happy cake day. Is it
Bang
cake?
from there. It's Miletta's birthday, wasn't it?
Oh, of course, yes. Sorry. Sorry.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to say that, am I?
O'Reilly says, Windows Update's not an issue, Mike, when you have 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. Well, I do have 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, but sadly I still only have about 500 or 600 megabyte internet. So I'm not quite getting there
slower
yet.
every time we upgrade.
Yeah.
To be fair. Jeff Watson, down.
I'm doing it. Oh, that's because I'm in top chat. How do I get it so it says all chat?
Click on that little square, yeah.
Live chat, that's the one I wanted. Boom. Dutch Jan says monitor on but no... Oh crap, I nearly timed someone else out then. Yeah, monitor on, no picture. I'd imagine that's... A monitor on but no picture. Yeah, I don't know, that's a weird one. Google Eye says Mike sounds like me from the south. We are from the south. Southwest. Not southern. Southwestern. Really random view says, hi Mike, Kath. I'm watching the football but thought I'd drop in during half time. Oh, excellent. What's the scores? Just to spoil everyone else's night. Mitch Hammond says, hi all. How you doing, Mitch? And who else had a question that I've missed? Tuffley says, who's Matthew? That's Matthew Day.
He's in the chat somewhere, isn't he?
Happy Flendo says, hey, I got a laptop, but the Vega 3 is 2 GB. When I upgraded RAM, I don't want that. Can you help? With any of the integrated Vega graphics now, all of them default as a maximum of 2 GB of shared RAM, although it is done on a dynamic basis. So Windows will allocate more or less depending on what it actually needs. But you cannot physically tell it to use more than 2 GB, but it will if it needs to, because it knows what RAM it's got. So if you put 16 gigs of RAM in, you'll probably be able to get it to use up to and around 4 GB, but your motherboard won't allow you to actually physically do that. Windows actually does that for all graphics cards now. So if you look in, if you do Alt-Control-Delete and go into Task Manager and click on Performance, then go into GPU, you'll quite often see that your GPU has the ability to use more RAM than it physically has available to it. And there's two marks next to the graphics card, and it'll say like 2 gigs of RAM, 4 gigs usable, or something along those lines.
He said, okay, thank you.
Welly Bob says, I want that spray cleaner and your 2.5 gig switches. I wish I could. Do a Roblox benchmark. Aletta says, the worst thing you can do when installing a Windows PC is installing Windows. Ba-boom. David Aiken says, Mike, did you turn on resizable bar in the BIOS? Adds decent boost gain in certain titles. Yes. Turned on, yeah, Sam's turned on, and the above 4G decoding, which is kind of part of the same thing. Cool, come on, preparing to configure Windows. It's taking bloody ages. Ordinary Dude says, Mike, you need to explore Windows 11 with all the TPM, secure boot, and minimum requirements removed. It's very simple using Rufus. Yeah, that did actually catch me out this week, doing a Windows 11 repair installation with the TPM and the secure boot. It wanted me to turn it all on. I just turned it on, to be honest.
Jeff Watson, you ignored me before. He's written it again now.
Jeff Watson, is it down the bottom? Okay. Jeff Watson, Mike, you reviewed quite a bit from TechWare. That is true. I'm failing to track down a Nexus M.2 Air in white. Sure, TechWare must have some tucked away in their warehouse. Are they responsive to emails? Yeah, generally, I would say your best thing to do, they're very active on Facebook. So if you follow TechWare UK on Facebook, if you're in UK, I'm guessing you possibly are. Yeah, follow them on Facebook, and you'll probably see that whenever they post, I probably put a post in as well, or mention something, so I do quite like their stuff, so I quite often do it. Message them on Facebook, and if you don't get any joy there, maybe send me an email, mike@mikesunboxing.com, and I'll forward your details on to my TechWare representative. I was thinking of the word then. And see if they can hook you up in some way. Hopefully that's going to help you, Jeff. Sorry I didn't see your question earlier.
We did You heard me say it.
Yeah,
Multitasking.
I struggle with multitasking doing streams.
Garage Sprinkler.
Garage Sprinkler Repair, how you doing? Long time no see. Garage Sprinkler Repair is one of the someone who actually was kind of joined in with the channel and was commenting in the very, very early days. Hopefully your garden things that you're doing in California, this is a weird thing. When you think of sprinklers, like if you're thinking in the UK, there's probably maybe one house in every street which has a sprinkler. Whereas I think in California, probably most homes have got a sprinkler because your grass and your lawn is a very important thing over there. Whereas in the UK, it's basically somewhere to throw rubbish in your front garden.
But we are gardening this year.
We are gardening. Right, there we go. So that's one update done. How many more is there going to be? I'm not sure how early a version this was.
Happy Flendo is best to join Discord.
Yes. Join Discord if there's any real technical stuff. Yeah, Jeff says it's a busy chat, no worries. Ordinary Dude says, I'm so spoiled with my 1 gig fibre, your updates are so slow. Mitch says there's not much water in California. Yeah, we don't really need sprinklers in the UK because it's basically raining all the time anyway.
Looking at the weather, it says
Well, it seems that is up to date. Stuart Cleary says Mike's behind the PC chugging beer. Dutch Jan says F2 to go to BIOS but reboot. Oh, I got you.
Google Eyes asked if you're Cornwall based.
Not Cornwall, no. A little bit further up. Right, view optional updates, driver updates. What we got? Acer monitor, no. And Intel Net, no. They always come up with that. Okay, so that is we're done. Oh God. Microsoft Edge. I did test you. No, don't allow. Just like how many clicks do you need to do before you actually start browsing? Shit. Right. AMD.com. Chipset drivers first. Always chipset drivers first. And drivers and support. And we can just do the automatic one. That's probably the easiest one to do. And open that one. It's quite a nippy little system, this, to be fair. Oh, questions. That's what I was looking at. Questions.
Can't multitask.
No, can't multitask. Google Eye says Listgard. No, way out. We're a lot further up.
Not in Cornwall.
We're not in Cornwall. We're closer to Cardiff and Gloucester and somewhere else that's not there. I'm trying to think where else. Quite near.
Why can't you just say?
Well, yeah, we're Bristol basically. I was trying to think of the name. That's the one, Bristol. That's the one I've lived in all my life.
Everyone knows.
Happy Flendo says, hey, I did the test around 4 gig versus 8 gig. The 4 was Micron product, but the 8 gig was Chinese RAM. I did the test and found Chinese RAM is 13 of 100 and the Micron was 89 of 100. Okay. Please do not say Listgard in Avon. Is there a Listgard in Avon?
No,
I'm confused. No. Right, so drivers, we're going to install all those there. Exciting times. I wonder if there's going to be a new chipset installer for the new chipset. Whether or not they're just going to use the same one over again. I'd imagine they're going to do a new one.
Does the PC have Intel or AMD?
This is AMD.
It's all in the description.
Come on. Anytime today.
It's Avon and Somerset.
Avon and Somerset is our police force and other things.
Isn't that just North Somerset?
Don't know.
Avon and North Somerset.
Yeah, Avon is in... Well, Avon doesn't technically exist anymore. So Avon was kind of amalgamated into Bristol, Bristol City, but then South Gloucestershire and Bath and North East Somerset are all kind of on like a join. So
it was Avon and Somerset and
yeah.
Preston and everything included.
Restart. Yeah, it's confusing. We're South Gloucestershire, but only about
depends which direction.
5 or 6 streets away is Bristol, the border.
In one direction.
Yeah, and then the other direction is like Bath almost. It's ridiculous. Boom, there we go, back into Windows. So let's get the oh god, NVIDIA driver. No, you're not having my password. No, I don't want GeForce Experience. No, I don't want any of those things. NVIDIA. Download drivers. That doesn't look like drivers. There we go. So GeForce, and it's an RTX 30 series, and it's a 3060.
Not Sanford, Gloucestershire.
Sanford, yeah. I wish it was Sanford. The greater good. How long is that going to take to download? That's not too bad.
Who's that come in?
It's not downloading that quickly, actually.
That sounds like Poppy Dora. Oh, it's Maisie Moves.
Open file, there we go.
Say hello.
No, Maisie, you can't jump on top of it. Really Random View says Hot Fuzz was funny. It wasn't funny because it wasn't supposed to be a comedy. It was actually a docudrama for Gloucester. That is life in Gloucester. That's interesting. While Bill says you can buy the airflow front and the top panel separately, about $35 for both from Corsair. William Bailey says, no, where is Poppy? She's out catching things. Ugly Bob says, yarp. Oh, sorry. Multitasking. Just want the graphics driver. Express. Come on. Something I do find about this case is the big gulf here. The big space just that is not used. Now, I know obviously if you want a 360mm rad up at the top, there's some things that you have to kind of go with, obviously lengthwise, but I feel that they should have done the case with the same height, but just a more squat version. Maybe just a 360 up front. I don't know. John Sullivan says, do you have weird cults in Gloucestershire then? Oh, yeah. The local government.
Say hello.
There's Poppy making a brief appearance. Restart now.
Pops.
Aletta says, anyone live close to Anderton's music store? Not heard of it, sorry. Sanford has won Village of the Year, I don't know how many times. Yeah, quite a few. Senior Mobius, hey Mike, after building my PC at Christmas with the help of your videos, I purchased the Windows 10 Pro key for £4.35 from one of your videos, which activated my Windows 11 Pro perfectly. Thanks. No problem. Glad to be of help. And thank you for helping support the channel by using premium CD keys. It's good actually. It's a win-win situation because you get a really good bargain and we get a very small commission. Obviously it is small because it doesn't cost very much. But yeah, excellent stuff. Thank you for that. Now what have we got here?
Quickly pop John Sullivan, there's loads of them. Oh, you said Colts.
Base system device. Now what is that? That has got to be a thing. Check for updates. That's probably the Wi-Fi driver, isn't it, for the onboard LAN, onboard Wi-Fi. We may need to go to driver updates. Let's try that. Intel. I don't think it is going to be the Intel net, but we'll see. No, it definitely wasn't that. So base system device. Now, if you've got a bizarre piece of stuff, Maisie, go away. Oh, God's sake. That was a Sign Blaster card.
Senor Mobius said...
Can you see that? Is that focused? That'll do. This. Maisie, get down! And don't sit on the HDMI thing, the switcher. You frickin' animal. Right, if you've got a device in your system, base system device, so we're not sure what it is, so if you right click and choose properties, and then it will say what it is and where it lives. So it says there, PCI slot number 1, PCI bus 6, device 0, function 0. So drivers were not installed for this device, but that PCI slot 1, in theory, is the graphics card. So that makes no sense at all. So we'll go into details, and we'll go into hardware ID, and then we can copy that, and then all we do is paste that into La Google or La Edge. Actually, let's not even do Edge because Edge is just pathetic. And they'll probably just say, go to a dodgy site and download some other rubbish. Right. Let's do this. Paste. Paste that into there. So, base system driver is missing. PCI serial port? No. So that's a weird one. Well, the vendor ID is, because it says 8086, that is Intel's device ID. So it's something to do with Intel. I'm pretty much going to think it's going to be the Intel LAN. Actually, we can find out because we go into system, sorry, go into device manager. And we go into network adapters. So, oh no, Intel Ethernet controller is showing as being there. And so is the Realtek one. And so is the Intel Wi-Fi 6. Interesting. Okay, this is genuinely interesting. So let's try the Gigabyte website for this motherboard and see what the deal is. Go to Gigabyte. Sorry if I'm boring anyone, but this is actually slightly interesting. Only slightly. Motherboard, AMD series, and socket AMD. Oh god, yeah, I agree. Let's have that AM4.
The last and the REV06 is not required. Don't know if that makes any sense. Reduce it to VEN and DEV only. Easy. What's that?
Where is the board? Vision D. I wonder if the dash P is different. I'm guessing it is.
Mike, yeah. Do you know why they picked up a 5800X with a 3060? Isn't that overkill?
No, not really. Depends what you're doing with it. If you're streaming, then the extra power is going to be fine. These days, I think pretty much all processors perform within a very, very close margin of each other. So just get whatever you can afford. Right, so operating system.
Do
Windows
rem
10.
and dev on update catalogue.
I gotcha. Ah, Thunderbolt. I bet that's what it is. Thunderbolt. It's a Thunderbolt driver, isn't it? Because Intel is Thunderbolt, and we haven't installed a Thunderbolt driver. Where's the device manager? Have we got Thunderbolt listed in there? Don't think we have. I would have thought Thunderbolt should have worked straight out of the gate. Universal. I don't think it's in there, is there? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is what it is.
Can you remove that device in Device Manager and see if it reloads okay on the reboot?
I can try that. Base system device, this uninstalled device. And what I will do is, while we are here, I will download the Thunderbolt driver just in case. Let's see more. I'm going to extract those anyway. That's a 7-zip, right, okay. Let's, we'll go on the advice of that. So we've removed that, let's reboot. Oh. We'll go on a magical mystery trip and see if it actually installs. I hope it's Thunderbolt, I think it will be. Google Eye says, I don't go on this channel as much as I should. At least Mike is honest and open from what I can ascertain. I do try. The thing is, if you lie, you have to try and remember those lies. Because these days, in the...
I remember what you were doing 10 minutes ago.
In the digital world, it's so easy for someone to rewind or to pick up an old video or whatever and pick you up on something you've said. So for me personally, it's like, okay, there's no point me trying to bullshit people because they will know, because people aren't stupid. So, and it actually is a lot easier because you can just be honest and just do whatever. And now I've got no internet connection. Why? Why? Okay, so why have I not got an internet connection? Why would not having an internet connection have anything to do with this system not having a base system device installed?
Do you know why a lot of people say don't buy the 3060, just buy the 3060 Ti or 3070?
Mostly because of the price differences. If you buy the 3060 Ti was on sale yesterday for £369 as a drop from Scan and also from Nvidia. So buying a 3060 is pointless at those prices because you're going to pay a lot more. But the 3060's got more RAM, so depending on what you're using it for. Why have I got no internet? Oh, I've got Wi-Fi, or at least I can connect to Wi-Fi. Oh, that's working. Okay.
You wouldn't have a stream, would you, if you had no internet?
No, that's true. Right, base system device. Let's try the download and see if that is going to fix things. I think it probably will. Downloads. Yeah, whatever. Just run it. I think that's just done it. Where is it? Yeah, there we go. That's what it was. Thunderbolt device. Yeah, I should have thought of that because it's very rare that AMD systems have Thunderbolt built in because it's traditionally an Intel selling point. So, yeah, that's that done. So I suppose we should do a quick Cinebench run. Oh, for God's sakes. Right, hang on a second. Let's unplug and replug. Give me an IP address, please.
Hey Daisy.
Why is it being daft? I don't think this is working. No, it's not. Okay.
If in doubt, pull it out.
Right, IP config, what's going on? Everything is disconnected. Okay, right. Let's swing that round a minute, because I'm going to put in my username for the Wi-Fi. I can't believe I'm using Wi-Fi. Actually, let's use the guest account. There we go, we're connected. Now, I'm pretty much going to guarantee that because this has got the Intel i225 chipset on the motherboard, at some point or other, the onboard LAN is going to die quite badly. Because there's just something really weird about it. It doesn't work. Oh, Thunderbolt Control Center got installed.
IP config, release and renew, whatever that means. 169 IP means it can't talk to your router, so networking cable issue stroke switch is.
I got to be honest with you, one of my new QNAP switches has been playing up, but it's the one that I'm streaming on. So if it's streaming on one computer and Kath's using it as well, your computer's still connected, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it's more to do with this pewter. Let's right, that's working now because we've got adverts, clearly. Yeah, it's working now. Just having a funny 5 minutes. I've got a sneaking suspicion that my 5-port QNAP router might be not as good as it should be. A few people have actually said online that there's issues with them. And it looks like mine might have. So we have been having some quirky issues with the internet.
Then we are Virgin Media.
Ooh, that's not too bad. 250 megabits per second. I'll have some of that. Right, let's launch Cinebench. This will be a good stress test to make sure that everything's actually working. Yeah, accept, and let's go into File, Preferences. Don't want to do that. 0 minutes, yeah, that's okay.
Toughly wants to know, does your Ethernet Wi-Fi get faster or better if you have a better system stroke PC?
Probably not really, no. Not massively. Having better network equipment would be more meaningful than a better PC. So I'm thinking score-wise this should get about 15,000 points. Although it's not been tuned, so it's probably going to get about 14,500. That would be what I'd be normally looking at seeing. It's so difficult to tell if it's going fast or slow just by watching it.
How are temps? Do you have Ryzen Master installed?
Ryzen Master isn't installed at present. I don't like using Ryzen Master, I'll be honest. Oh damn, I didn't want to do extra loops. Advanced benchmark off. Right, start again. The downside at the moment is because the IQ software isn't set up yet, that we've got no real control over the fans and the pump and stuff. And we are currently at 9E, whatever that is. Does that mean things are going to die? Actually, oh no, I won't do that yet. I'll wait.
I was thought that was Dave Aiken's kitchen.
It is Dave Aiken's kitchen. can hear the fans ramping up a bit.
Just bought Mr. Hydrated M. Just bought the Logitech G Pro X wireless mouse. It was £110, but so worth it. Your thoughts on the mouse?
The G Pro. I'm not a big fan of Logitech mice, to be honest with you. A lot of people rave about them. I'm a lefty, so left-handed people, I don't know, yeah, I don't always get on with those. That's a pretty decent score, 15358. That's definitely done better than mine does. So that's about 400 points higher than mine, although saying that, mine has got a complete other system running in it, and this is a fresh install, so some minor pinches of salt may be required there. Let's put in Icue. Might as well get that installed, just so you can see what temperatures are going on. Have a look. O'Reilly says 153XX. With tune-in, could it get to 16? It probably could do, to be honest with you. Where is that? Where is it gone? Come on, Icue. I'm assuming they want Icue, but I suppose you've got to. Icue setup. I hate Icue. In fact, after installing Icue, we can run the benchmark again, and it's going to be a lot slower.
One way to kill R23 score, install Icue.
Yeah, David beat me to it. English American? No, English, please.
Hello, Daisy. What's wrong?
Da, 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 da.
Food? Food? Yeah, no.
Glenn says 5800X, I got to 16600 without being maxed yet, so good potential. Bloody hell. Mike, please sort out those hubs at the back. I might have to. Oh dear, I don't like Icue. I really don't. Danielle says I had an odd issue where a long download on one computer hogged all the network bandwidth. Not often I do that. I think there are router settings to limit percentage used by one computer. Yes, you can, definitely. I'm reading your comments there, and yeah, it needs some excitement. Oh, your computer must be restarted. There's a shock. There's an absolute shock. I'm very tempted to unplug these hubs. There's Maisie. Hey, Mabes. Welcome to your PC being slower, courtesy of Corsair Systems. I suppose actually I should put hardware monitor on here just to see what the temperatures are like. Oh God. Hardware monitor, look, hardware monitor, it's like, no, that's SolarWinds. That's not what we want. We want the CPID one. The search engine is just absolute, I hate to say it, but bollocks. It's amazing how the fans have ramped up already massively. Just by installing Icue, it's pushed the CPU over its limit. So what are we running at? Oh dear. So CPU is currently, where's the package temp? 60 degrees. Jesus. What's it going to get down to? 40. There, that should be better. I think that's working. Yeah, I had a red light there for some reason. Okay, so that should be working. Are we back now? Back in the room. Jeez. Technology. Right, that QNAP switch is going straight back. Don't buy the 5-port. There does
Ugly Bob's only just ordered one today.
There does appear to be an issue with the 5-port. The 8-port is fine, but the 5-port, since I've installed that has caused issues.
Sorry.
So we're back. Yes, Houston, we had a problem. So the first problem we had was the package temperatures on this were hitting 90 degrees, but it's idling quite nicely at like 37. So without taking the CPU cooler off and actually looking at the installation, which I would imagine is going to be absolutely fine, it is seeming to get quite high. So what I've done is I've put the pump speed to extreme. The fans I've got set to balance currently, which it doesn't seem to be a great deal else you can do. It would be nice if you could maybe adjust the curve somehow, but it seems that possibly that is not a thing. So I'm going to quickly run that again and see what temps we hit now.
Did you take the plastic off the contact plate?
I never installed it, so potentially the plastic could still be on there. So what we're hitting now, 85. I have just turned up the pump speed slightly, and that has appeared to have dropped it a little bit. Is it still going to reach? Yeah, we're about 2 or 3 degrees less. No, 2 degrees.
Those Corsair AIOs benefit from an extra hard crank down with a Phillips head screwdriver.
Crank it down.
Let's
see, we're on 89.
It.
So we're going to hit 90. Yeah, I think we are. We're getting close. 89. Yeah, there we go. 90. Yeah, so that's made no difference at all. Turning the pump speed up. The fans don't seem to be doing anything, apart from hurting my fingers. So why are the fans not reacting to the temperature of the CPU? That's what I don't understand. I hate Icue. Genuinely do. Right, okay, let's I'm going to close this down and see if the plastic is on there. I don't think it is. I think if the plastic was on there, the temperatures would be completely worse already.
Wouldn't you be smelling it by now?
Yeah, you would be smelling burnt plastic now. Let's put that back over here. Ooh. Blah, blah, blah. Turn that around over there, like that. Oh dear. I can't say if that's level or not. Oh yeah, that is. Good stuff. Good stuff. Actually, I'm going to use a regular chair like a normal human being. Right, let's disconnect that, and disconnect that. And I definitely want to see what is going on with that cooler, because I don't know, these processors do run hot, it can be said, but 90 degrees really, with a 360mm AIO, that does seem a little bit on the high side.
I'd move your phone. You know what they're like.
So does it need a bit more of a crank down? That is a little bit loose, to be fair.
Could the be fitted wrong as those fittings seem bent on CPU?
That's something I was considering, so I'm going to loosen those off and take it off and have another look.
Turn it around until slightly because you can't see.
It's making some horrible noises. No, can you move the camera around?
Like that.
Yeah, that should be right. Right, let's move my cup of tea out of the way. Stay. There we go, is that better? Yeah, that's not bad.
Mike, is Tuffley going to be fine for gaming and streaming if uses a 5600X stock cooler?
Depends how hot things are getting. It's not really kind of like one of those simple questions to answer because there's so many variables depending on like how hot is the room you're actually going to be in. You'll probably find that it's going to be noisy, so that's probably not ideal for streaming, but it depends on your setup. I've probably loosened that off more than I needed to be fair.
Right, did you get browner more tanned while fixing network issues?
Yeah, I did. Right, oh, I'm not even sure what thermal paste that is. There seems to be a lot of it. They didn't use brown. No, I'm not going to lick it. Kath, can you do me a favour and get me the blue roll, please?
The whole roll?
Yeah. I'm wondering if those are actually in the right places. Can anyone who's actually used one of these before confirm that those are in where they should be? Yeah, I'm not sure what that thermal... oh, actually, that thermal compound is probably the stuff that gets supplied with this, isn't it?
Trying to start you off so you could pull the yank.
Okay.
Leave your rough end there.
I need to invest in some isopropyl alcohol. It's one of those things, there's a few things every week which I say to myself after a stream, during a stream, or before the setting up. I need to install my HDMI cable for the monitor. That is definitely a thing which I still haven't done. And I also need to get some isopropyl alcohol. No, I haven't done either.
Stock Corsair paste. Looks like peanut butter thermal paste.
Yeah. I think the problem is with the 5800 is because there's just a single CCX unit. It just gets really hot. The processor itself doesn't really get that warm, but because it's all hidden behind that IHS, it's very easy for it all to get done. Oh, I've got bloody thermal paste on the socket. Oh well. If it runs cooler and quieter, you will be thanking me, possibly. Let's go with some MX4. Can't beat a bit of MX4. Happy days. Right, where's my spreading spatula? I don't know why I put this spatula away. I'd probably use it more times than I use a bloody screwdriver.
You should keep it behind your ear.
If I had hair, I probably could.
Just suction it onto your head.
Are we still in autofocus or manual focus? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks right.
No, we're in manual focus. Let's have a control. Did I get browner during the break? For those of you that are not sure about thermal paste, there's a very good video coming out on Monday, which will probably piss off a lot of people. So with thermal paste, you don't want a lot.
Where have the threaded hooks gone? They're usually retained by the holes in the tabs.
I haven't done it too far. Who asked that?
David Aiken.
Yeah, I just loosened them off too much.
Because it's not his.
Yeah, well done.
I've never had thermal paste on my fingers. Is it sticky or something?
Yeah, it's not so much sticky, it's just a pain in the ass and it stains. Well, it doesn't stain, but it's just like, it gets ingrained in your skin.
It's not a motherboard, it might have been tuna.
There's the...
Yeah, tuna for tea, so you wouldn't know if it's his own breath.
Get those started. Actually, I wonder if that is on tight as well on the back. That is a little bit on the loose side, but it could have been loose from the factory. It's times like this when I wish I'd have just stopped at the point of it boots, turn it off. That would have been a better ending, rather than, oh Mike, you're trying to shave 3 degrees off of a CPU. Are you insane? I think we know the answer to most of that. So, are you absolute piece of shit? I hate this cooler. So that answers that question. Do those come out easily? I suppose this actually would probably be a lot easier if I actually laid the PC down on the side.
Those locking hooks take a lot of pressure. Don't be afraid to give it more of a turn than what feels comfortable.
Will do. Oh, I can actually use the overhead camera. It's been on all night. Might as well get it, earn its keep. Not that I can see a thing. Calf, can you turn that light on, please? Okay. I hate this design. Not the design, the motherboard, the design of these AMD things. You'd think this would be the simplest way of doing it, but it really, really isn't.
Can you ask this to Mike? Do you do a PC build for a fan, like they send you the money and you build the PC and ship it to them?
No. Definitely not.
You can join our Discord and see if anyone's...
Yeah. Shipping a PC is just like ridiculously expensive and fraught with potential problems, so no.
But if you join the Discord, then it might be somebody local.
Yeah. Yeah, the Discord, someone on the Discord might do it for you. If you're local. If you're local to here, I'd do it for you. But, oh, this is shit. Like, this is a high-end cooler as well, isn't it? But it just feels so... Ugh. Sorry, I'm mooning. Right, that looks like a better angle, possibly.
Take GPU out. Take the motherboard out. Take the PSU out. No, that's just me all the rest.
Take out nothing. Willie Bob says, I like the clip-on method personally. I do, but if it's done in a better way, like where it actually works and isn't some asinine design.
Dave the Perv has the same cooler and it's a pain in the ass.
It's awful. That is one of the worst mounting mechanisms I think I've ever used. Like, this thing just keeps on turning and turning.
Ugly Bob's other account, Dave the Perv.
O'Reilly says swap out the cooler for an Owl's-Eye one. That's probably not a bad idea. I don't think they'd be very happy though. Right, that is okay.
Hey Poppy.
I wouldn't say that was necessarily a better installation.
Tighten that a lot.
I can't tighten it anymore. That is literally like that's the end of the threads. It won't turn any further than that. So this is possibly best case scenario.
Literally.
Right, let's plug this Sacco back in. And plug that back in.
Other camera.
And hello. Which camera do I want? I want main one.
Hello, Poppy.
Let's get it started.
You need knuckles? Come here, I can't reach you.
God, there's a lot of huffing and puffing going on over here. Like some old fella. I always turn the camera around on you, but you get upset. Right, what's the temperatures like initially? I'm guessing they're not going to be awesome, but I'd hope they'd be a little bit better. Where are we? So, down in the mid-40s. It's booting up, so we'll see. It could have been a good installation before, but it just seems a little bit on the rubbish side. So is it dropping down further? 35, 38.4. At least now I can actually hear the buzzing of the fan, of the pump. Yeah, I can feel water actually moving through the pipes now. Okay, let's run a Cinebench and see what happens. As much as I'm loath to do so. Let's see if we hit 90. Or let's see how quickly we hit 90, I should say.
Do you want the Monkey AIO installed?
Monkey AIO. Right, package is at 86.1. Dave Aitken, how do I get those fans to spin faster on the AIO? Because it's like they're not taking any attention of the speed whatsoever.
Does he want to come around and sort this out?
We're at 88.5, 88.6, so we've dropped maybe a couple of degrees at best. We're about to hit 90, I fear. Yeah, there we go, there's 90 again. We're going to hit 90 on both, just to get both the reds, or we're going to get a slight improvement. Oh, we got a slight improvement. So we only went into the red on the CCD, so there was a very, 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 very minor improvement. But how do we set up Icue to make it actually do something?
Make sure the front 3 fans haven't been plugged into the AIO hub.
Front 3 fans, AIO hub. Okay, let's do that. Yeah, that's something I should. Well, no, because the front fans aren't doing anything either, or they're not ramping up. The front 3 fans are.
Set the sensor. This is Wild Bill.
Yeah.
Set the sensor to CPU, not liquid temp.
Right, where's that? That's going to be in there, I'm guessing. So cooling, coolant temp. So how do I change that? Pump, no, cooling, device settings maybe? No.
And Valley Bob, adjust the course volts, mate. CPU volts, I meant.
Right, how do I tell it to not monitor the coolant and to monitor the CPU? I'm going to add a preset.
In BIOS.
The BIOS?
That's what Dutch John said. 5800 is a bugger. problem is Gigabyte.
Right, sensor coolant temp, so package temp we want.
Are the fans plugged into the commander core?
Yeah, I believe so. Right, let's see, 100%. Right, I'm going to try and set the same curve as what I set.
Cooling CLI, see below the graph. Does that make sense?
No.
Yeah, custom curve linked to package temp will do it. Chris Hartford 55800X, it's warm with my 360 AIO.
Bobby, get away. Oi! Get out. You wee Jimmy Cranky. Right, how do I apply that? Or should I just call it custom one? Let's see if that's made any difference whatsoever. With any luck now, those fans should kick in like crazy. No. It's doing bugger all. None of the fans are actually kicking in.
Bobby. Not near the camera. Come on.
Oh, I hate Corsair. Right, what is plugged in where? So the 3 fans, let's unplug one of those, what happens? Right, so the front fans are plugged into the chassis header, or the proper fan hub on the back. So that means the rest are plugged into the control hub thing. So why is that doing absolutely nothing then? Oh God, I hate these things. Right.
Right.
Go on.
You didn't apply it, Mike.
Where's the apply button? There isn't an apply button.
Mount on the fan set to custom. Probably you didn't apply it, Mike. Use the drop down box next to the fan. You need to select the drop down next to each fan.
Oh, so
Then
custom
apply your
one.
profile.
Shit in hell. Right, I'll leave that as extreme.
You have to
Then.
set each individual fan to custom.
Yep, right, done that. So where do I save that now? Rename. Let's rename that. And call that 5800X. Right.
That's it now.
Okay, so fan one. All right, let's give that a blast then. So in theory, this should get really noisy really quickly. Yay! That's better. It's doing things. That's better. God, why did it make it so difficult?
To it, it will work. It saves itself when selected, I think.
Front fans are doing sod all, but they're connected to the motherboard, so we'll live with that. Still at 86 degrees, but it's not going to top out, and I don't think it's going to get above that. If anything, it's going to drop below. A bit on the noisy side. But then it's not often you're going to be rendering in Cinebench, to be honest.
Hopefully we send that sign all the time.
Yeah. So 85 or 86 degrees. And the same sort of score. So view, clear, min and max. Let's do that again just to make sure.
I don't think they can read any of that. It's bottlenecking.
Still at 85. 85.5 is the maximum we've seen so far.
You can plug the front fans into the IQ node the same as the RAD fans.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Who's using a hairdryer?
Ain't me. I have no need for a hairdryer unless you want to do my back.
Should put front and sides on the back. Take your shirt off when you get in there.
Right, there we go. We get to 86 degrees, so we've stopped it getting into bad territory.
Remove the AIO and use an AMD stock cooler to see if it is the CPU fault or AIO fault. This is what I would do when repairing a system. It's troubleshooting.
Who said that?
See, joke. What are you saying?
There's nothing wrong with it. There's no fault with it. It's just it's getting hot because it is one of those processors which gets hot. Now we've got the fan pump set up. Or let's try a...
Mike, I really did crank down the pump screws. It felt like they were tight, but I was able to get another quarter of a turn on them. Dropped about 5 degrees off my temp.
I'll try it, but if I break it, I don't
Dave.
think it'll go any further. It's like... No, it just feels like it's stripping the metal. I don't like that. Although we're looking better now, down to 30 degrees C. Oh no, we don't want the bloody coolant temp. Screw off with your bloody coolant temp.
Was the coolant temp getting high?
Coolant temp was rising a little bit, but not a great deal.
Should let me asking you all these intelligent questions because they're not mine.
Yeah. Actually, the coolant temperature... Yeah, only got to 31 degrees. Seems a bit bizarre. But anyway, that seems to be working now. So there is actually a fan profile going.
Does the pump work?
It does feel like there's something moving in there. I suppose I should give it a little bit of a wobble. And the case, ba-boom. It's so sad. Right. Actually, I don't know if it is working. Because you should hear some bubbles moving, surely.
But then you've got that other one, haven't you? It doesn't.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Oh, there's water then.
Yeah, I don't think the pump's working. Because that should be doing better than that.
So what's the pump curve? Maybe needs more pump.
It was set to turbo, I think. Let's have a look.
Sensor temp at the bottom of the page, but I think you did that to me.
Yeah. Yeah, coolant temp is 30 degrees Celsius. I'm going to run the Cinebench again actually and see if the coolant temperature goes up. But it's not going to be helpful because I'm sure that the coolant temperature sensor is in the pump. So that is going to increase.
Pump is very quiet. Unless it's on extreme.
Yeah. But normally you should hear a bit of movement of air bubbles, shouldn't you?
Does the pump have power supply?
Yeah. I can hear it because the pump RPM is at 3000 RPM almost. But I can't hear any water moving. And normally when you change pump speed you should hear it as well.
phase curve on your IQ fan page on the bottom under the graph, you can set it to CPU temp instead of cooling temp.
Oh yeah, I got that. Yeah.
Did you do that? If you use H150 don't know how to say it. HW-info64.
Yeah.
You can see the power reporting deviation percent from the motherboard, often the cause of high temps.
Well, at the moment, I think the cause of the high temps is the actual water pump. I don't think it's actually pumping any water around.
Shout at the pump and hurt its feelings, that usually works.
Is that Bob?
No. Dave Jock. It would be a worse temp if it wasn't working.
Right, coolant temperature. I've just started a test now. And it's at 30.8, 30.7, 30.8. So if the water is transferring...
On extreme mode it should be very audible. Dave.
I've set it to balanced at the moment.
William Booty, ugly Bob, did you fall asleep?
Right, temperature's gone up very slightly, but the coolant temperature should go up quite quickly, shouldn't it?
I think it would throttle instantly if the pump was buggered.
Well, the coolant temperature is at 31 degrees now.
Is it pumping flop or pumping rad?
Scores are getting ever so slightly better. It doesn't seem that the water is changing temperature at all.
Listen to the pump with a screwdriver just like you used to do volts on a car.
Yeah, I can hear it, but it doesn't seem like it's moving anything. Yeah, you can hear stuff going through. Well, you can hear the pump doing something. So the coolant temperature, if I put it on extreme mode, the coolant temperature doesn't really drop either. Not by any measurable thing. There's a horrible noise to it. Okay, well, considering it's a 360 AIO, I'm not overly impressed, to be honest. I would have thought that should have done better. The undervolt would do it. But it is one of those processors, I suppose, where it just does run quite warm anyway. But I suppose ultimately it works. So I can live with that. Right, let's turn this thing off. And no doubt I'm going to have a bit of a play with this tomorrow at some point. Shutting down. Ooh. There we go. Unplug his VU. Oh, for those of you that are waiting for the polo shirts, they said they were going to be delivered, or at least sent out on Thursday for the Friday delivery, and they, well, basically never showed up, so what can I do?
Who's it coming through?
It normally gets delivered by DPD, so they're normally quite good. But
Royal Mail's been terrible recently, haven't they? Apart from that nice man that came on the screen last week.
Yeah. Is the Royal Man Mail thing here? Royal Mail Man. Alright, let's have a look, see what's going on here. Back in the old chair. Let's stay in my cup. It's filthy, builder's cup. Okie dokie. Right, let's see what you chaps and chapesses have been saying. Oh, I'll tell you what, if I plug my keyboard and mouse back in, that'd be helpful, wouldn't it? Oh well, at least the PC works. It isn't exactly what I would have chosen personally, but it's alright. It gets the job done.
Probably what George would have chosen though.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would choose exactly the same thing. Dave says, it does sound like a clogged pump. Remember, the cooler is limited to the efficiency of the IHS and the cold plate if the rest of the cooler is irrelevant if those are not working well. William Bodie says, read what Aletta did right, please. What did Aletta write?
Maybe the micro channels on the AIO are clogged.
It could be. It's a brand new cooler. It's like brand new out of the box. So if it's clogged, it would have been during production or something. David says maybe the stock voltages with that board are slightly aggressive. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Why is this not working? Come on, live chats, that's what we want. And there we go. Brilliant Random View says a nice PC that is. It's actually a nice, it looks really nice, and to be honest with you, I would I don't know. There's things I would do differently on that for sure. I'm not a huge fan of the Corsair ecosystem. I'd imagine if I spent a long enough time in it, it would all make sense and I would be very, what's the word? Yeah, I would be very proficient. I think that's the word I was looking for. That's quite a good word, proficient.
Is that an actual word?
Yeah, proficient, yeah. As in your cycling proficiency test. To see your...
I failed mine.
Yeah, I never did one. I didn't have brakes or tyres on my bike.
I was a laughing stock of my family for that.
Yeah, there's things I would do differently. I would probably reduce down those the hubs. Maybe not even use Corsair fans at all. Maybe go with the those ones in there. The Arctic, the P0s or P12 0 RPM, whatever they are. A little bit easier to use. Shady says enough thermal paste. I hope so. It's what I've been using on mine and I've been getting pretty decent results. Glenn says there'll be gurgling or bubbling noise if there was a blockage, I reckon. Yeah, that was a weird thing. There was literally no noise at all. You wouldn't have known there was fluid in there, which to me is always a little bit of a weird thing. But saying that, I did a review this week of a cooler from, was it Silentium PC? Yeah, SPC, wasn't it? They sent their latest 240mm AIO and it's ridiculously quiet. Like stupid quiet, to the point of like, is this working? And it works really well. There's only a 240mm AIO as well, but that was tested on my 5800X and that did really well. So yeah, might be just having to reduce the temps a bit on that with a little bit of an undervolt. I think that would probably make sense. Like David said, I think the board probably is a little bit aggressive on its voltages as well. Stuart says, I missed what happened to the stream. I think what happened to the stream was our QNAP 5-port 2.5 gigabit switch. I looked after on the Amazon reviews and a few people had said that theirs has been flaky. Now mine had been absolutely okay, although I did notice a couple of days ago that I was getting the the what?
You manifested that.
Yeah, I saw the oh snap message. You know, like when you go to a Google page and it just says oh snap, and I've had it when I'm just watching a YouTube video and it comes up saying oh snap, where the stream has kind of just died. And I've never had that before until I've put that switch in place. So I'm thinking possibly it is part of that batch which has got an issue with it. I'm going to get in contact with QNAP on Monday. Turn it off now, can't and see what they say, see if it is like an ongoing thing, whether there's a firmware update. If there is, it'd be quite a good video for me to make, to just do the firmware update to make everything all tickety-burging. So yeah, we'll see what that goes like. Dave the Perv says it takes a little bit to get used to, but it is good. Oh, it's like the Corsair ecosystem.
Yeah.
Chloe Grice says, did you check the VRM temps? I didn't, but I will be looking at that tomorrow. I think with that board, the Vision, I think it's got specifically very good VRM, so I don't think that's going to be an issue, but I will have a look. It's not so much the VRM temps, it's more the CPU is getting to quite a high temperature. But then saying that, even with mine, before the undervolt, I was still hitting the upper 80s. And if it's a particularly good chip which boosts a little bit higher, it will reach 90s quite easy. Velox says, do you know any software on controlling fan speed on your case? I generally tend to go with the motherboard one. The MSI I use, and I like that a lot. Setup user scenario, very easy for me to do. There was another one recently which Jay's 2 Cents reviewed, and I did have a very, very brief look into it, but it didn't seem as intuitive as the motherboard's one, so I gave up on that. Chris Hartford says, I've Asus and Corsair kit in my PC. Icue picks up motherboard and GPU and controls everything pretty well. I think if you're going to go into the Corsair ecosystem, if you go with Asus as well, because Asus and Corsair work extremely well together, that's a very good way of doing it. Really Random View says, good opportunity to review their customer service. I guess you mean with the QNAP. Yeah. Yeah, that is going to be an interesting one, because QNAP have got their UK head office is probably less than 30 miles away from here. So worst case scenario, I'll unplug it and I'll throw it through their window. Oh wait, I'm joking. It's a good idea though. Bandy says, just back from the match, has anybody talked about thermal paste? We talked about it and replaced it, just to be on the safe side.
Go like Monday's video.
Yeah, if you like thermal paste, Monday's video is going to be great. I'm expecting lots of hate and possibly lots of people with varying views on what I've done. But Monday's video is going to be an interesting one. Michel says fan control. Yeah, I think that was what it was called, yeah.
Relux put something up above. Do you know any software on controlling fan speed on your case?
Oh, fan control is called.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Glenn says, I just use the motherboard's BIOS for my fan curves. Yeah, I set them in with BIOS, and then if I need to tweak them, I use MSI sensor to do it, other than what I've done already. Any possibility the cooler has lost fluid? I don't know. If it has lost fluid, it would have had to have lost all of it, because it was completely silent. If there was just a little bit in there, or some fluid, I think you'd hear bubbling or gurgling, or that kind of, you know, like with a water pump on a fish tank, you get that kind of noise where it's air and water going through the system, but not getting any of that at all. Google Eyes says, try the secondary CPU header and disable CPU 1 header and you'll be good to go. Actually, that's a point, because yes, I think the PWM sensor for the pump did look like it was plugged into CPU fan header 1, but I'm not sure if you're meant to do that. Yeah, because there was a single wire going into it. I'm going to have a closer look at that tomorrow. Dutch Jan says, no Corsair from me. Glenn says, I missed what temp it was hitting. It was maxing out at 91 degrees, I think, was the highest we saw. Dave Chalk says, oh yes, forgot to tell you the GameX black hole case is cooling my drinks very well. Good. Really random views, pump does need to be in pump header. Yeah, so what goes into the CPU header then? Or does it not? Or should the three... Yeah, see, that's what confuses me. Because the fans are going into the Commander Core Pro thing, whatever, like it would just be so much easier if they just went into the motherboard header. It's just complexity for the sake of it. While Bill says that thin wire does go to the CPU fan header. Okay, fair dues. It makes sense because that would be your kind of your fake CPU fan, or at least taking a reading from it. Okay, I might have to dig the manual out tomorrow and have a look. There's various conflicting reports there, so we'll have to see. Oh, Dave the Perv says I have. Right, Dave the Perv says no, it should be in CPU fan header, not pump header, and I have the instructions out. Thank you, Dave the Perv. Appreciate that. Right, okay. Well, I've just realised we've ran 3 hours over what we...
No, 1 hour over.
1 hour over, sorry, yeah, 3 hours in total. So, yeah, we've over... There's me thinking that this was going to be simple, and it was going to be had it fixed by 10 to 9, and then stretch the rest of it out for another 2 hours. There are lots of Daves. Glenn says, yeah, CPU header for the single wire on the Corsair AIOs. Awesome stuff. Okay, well, definitely we'll be having a look and a play with that tomorrow. Hopefully they don't want it to, well, maybe they want to collect it as it is. To be honest with you, I'm not sure how proficient they are, use that word again, with setting the rest of it up, whether or not they're happy to do that. So I'll be in contact with them tomorrow and just say, look, this is where we're at. I've installed Windows. What else? Do you want me to do anything else, or you just want to get on and use it? It is getting a little bit on the toasty side. It is the nature of the beast. I suppose they can always bring it back if they get problems, so it's not like it's this is their one and only shot. They can always reach out to us on our Discord as well, which you should if you haven't already. So yeah, I think that is it. Google Eye says, nice watching Mike tonight, a good guy and honest. I try. I try.
We're here every Saturday.
Yeah, we are here every Saturday at 8 PM UK time, sometimes slightly after because I have a life and I have things I have to do, so sometimes I'm not always on time. I'm not on Instagram. I am on Facebook, just as Mike Churchill. You can find me as Mike Churchill, Mike's Unboxing. That's about it. Don't really do a great deal of social medias. So yeah, I think that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you for the super chats. Awesome stuff. If you haven't already, smash the like button. It always helps. And the massive thing you can do now is share the videos. YouTube at the moment doesn't give a toss about views, don't give a toss about subscriber count, anything like that. All they care about is, are the videos being shared? If you share a video, Google goes, oh, it's being shared. And then they promote it. So if you want to help out the channel, share the videos, put them anywhere you want. I don't mind. Within reason, obviously. Anyway, that's going to do for now. Yeah, I think I've said thanks to everybody. Thanks for all the super chats, all that stuff. For those of you that aren't with us during the week, there's videos every weekday, normally 8 AM UK time, so I'm not sure what that'll be elsewhere, but you can work out for yourselves. Or if not, yeah, 8 o'clock on a Saturday evening. So, I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we will catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching, have a good evening.